Hello.
Welcome to
Mind Body Stuff.
I'm Kaylee.
I'm Bernice.
I am so excited about this podcast today. We have a very, very special guest. This is Claire Robertson-Preis joining us today. She is a classical singer. You guys, her brain is absolutely fascinating to me. And so we just had to get her on this podcast. She's moving to Portland. She's taking a job in Portland, which makes us very sad because we'll miss her here at the studio. But I'm so glad that you got a job doing what you do. So welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, Claire.
Thank you. Hello, listeners.
Hello.
This kind of got sparked because of just little chats that we had after ULA won. And so then I was like, oh my gosh, I need to know more about your brain. I need to know more about what you know. I want to know. I just want to hear you talk for like an hour. So we're so excited to have you. But
yeah, we
Claire,
were just talking now, like doing the preliminary before the podcast.
Like making the outline.
We're just going on, and all sorts of topics came up. And I was like, wow, we could do this for a really long time.
And I'm like, we can create a new podcast just with Claire.
Oh, yeah. Claire's podcast.
I know, right? You should think of one. It'd be awesome.
Music, mind, body.
Music, mind, body.
Music, mind,
we gotta
body.
do the music, mind, body.
Claire, do you mind just first starting off by introducing yourself and just anything you want to share?
Okay, so I am a classical singer. I also love singing musical theater.
Yes.
And so my interest in music really was sparked in high school. I was kind of late to the music game, loved playing piano, wasn't the best at it. And I've never particularly been the best at what I do, but I feel a very strong connection to it. Mm-hmm. And that's what really inspired me to continue my education. My other undergraduate degree besides music is in Russian language and literature.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Я говорю по-русски.
Добро там.
So,
what does that mean, you guys?
I just said that I speak Russian.
I said good day.
Oh, I like it. Very good.
See.
But my interest in literature and literary analysis has really prompted me to look at my music making in a different way. Mm-hmm. And so I've been focusing intellectually on this analytical side of things, but I was really blocked. And I realized I was extremely blocked as a singer right before I went to grad school. And it was very frustrating because I realized I was going to graduate school and I was terrified of doing what I was doing. Right. I was had horrible stage fright. I couldn't even practice. I had stage fright of my own practicing, and that was a new level of
stage fright.
Yick.
It's like a
there's
double.
There's no one watching me, and I can't even practice.
Yeah, that's like a double stage fright.
Because my heart rate is so high.
It's very elevated.
And
I told my doctor that once. I had super high elevated heart rate when I wake up in the morning, and my doctor's like, I have to drink 5 cups of coffee. He's like, you're very lucky. It was a wonderful reframe for my anxiety. Anyway, move on.
It's true, actually. I spent most of my master's degree working on reframing this anxiety I felt about the art I was doing, about being watched, and about not being true to myself. Because I felt this, because I'm my mind is constantly working and trying to analyze and make sense of the world that I'm part of and the world that I'm singing in and the perspective of the characters. I'd forgotten to really appreciate my body and the physical process of singing, because the physical process of singing is supposed to be freeing. Your voice is supposed to be completely free as a classical singer, which some people don't sound like it's entirely free and easy for them. Right. But it's supposed to be easy and pleasant and an emotional release experience. And I realized I was not having that anymore. So I started doing focusing on yoga and focusing on my connection to my body. I grew up riding horses and showing horses competitively, and I have done ULA for many years now.
Many years.
Yes, with my dad,
with
too.
her dad.
She's kind of grown up with us.
They go to class together. It's amazing.
Oh, it's so awesome.
It's really cool.
I'm going to miss that when I move. But
it's really special.
Because singing is something we do with our bodies and not with our minds, I had to get down to why, intellectually I wanted to be a singer, but why I couldn't physically do it, even though naturally I'm like built the right way, have the right vocal folds. Most people can sing. And so I spent a lot of time reflecting on what my connection to music was in my body. So I did these Alexander technique classes where I just was observing my body, observing my habit, and observing the things I felt when I was listening to music again. And I rediscovered something I loved about music, which is that I associate colors with music. I see distinct colors with distinct harmonies. And so that experience is classified as synesthesia. So
synesthesia, everyone, you can look it up.
Synesthesia.
Synesthesia.
Like being a synesthete. It's not as sinister as it sounds.
Synesthesia. I got some sinister problems.
How do I say this word?
Synesthesia.
Yeah, and I had a lisp when I was a kid too, so I'm always thinking, okay, don't say
you had a lisp.
I know, synesthesia. Enjoy.
Yeah, so obviously that's why I didn't talk about it for most of my undergrad.
What do you have? Nothing. Synesthesia.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
It's really interesting, though.
It is. Will you explain what that is?
Because it comes in a variety of forms. Yours, in particular, is one type.
Yeah, I have the auditory type. I hear music in particular and associate colors with specific pitches. Probably the easiest way to think of this is if someone crinkles a chip bag and you can taste chips, that is a form of synesthesia.
So it's like the senses are crossing.
And so people have this with, some people can taste colors, which absolutely blows my mind.
What do they taste?
I don't know. But
I don't know.
Like something concrete,
it's clearly,
like a grape?
Well, I don't know, but they know, like,
they just
when they see red, they taste the specific taste of red.
Wow.
For them.
Yeah.
It's very weird. So as a musician, it's so sad because people really want to be able to codify this and have a system so that we can make music and play music together and hear the same picture.
Right.
But it doesn't work because all of us have our personal connections and our personal ways of building it, or our personal ways of singing, seeing. Close enough.
Singing and seeing.
Perceiving the world.
That's perceiving.
Synesthesia. Right
just
there.
like the tasting of the color. Synesthesia.
I see my song.
Now that's not nice.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so seeing, you see
You
colors.
see the color when you hear...
You see a note or a sound.
Right. My particular experience of it is very harmonically based. So that means that if I play a melody on a piano, I don't have a very strong color impression.
Okay.
But if I hear like harmonic underpinnings in the music, when I start hearing the piece as a whole, I have a very clear, concrete impression. And I actually think, this is me spitballing here based on my own experience, that the possibilities are really infinite where this is concerned, because we essentially have kind of infinite visible colors that we can perceive. At least my brain can't mathematically categorize the different shades of color we can perceive. So our the music that I guess we're talking about is all Western music. I feel like I should make that idea that our musical tradition starts technically in the Middle Ages, or technically in ancient Greece. We make it to the Middle Ages, and it's cross-pollinating with all these other cultures. But what we end up with is a system of tonality, a very specific Western system of tonality that's organized around scales, which generally are comprised of 8 notes in what we listen to.
Right.
And there are 12 possible semitones in this scale. So it's technically all music is a mathematical collection. So, but harmonically, you can combine those 12 possibilities into at least 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 pairings of notes hammered down at once or in constant sequence. So you get very clear and vivid pictures, or you can have very clear and vivid connections to the music because of this. And other cultures with different tuning systems and different relationships have an even more infinite variety, but because of the nature of the music we're talking about, like
the music that we're particularly familiar with.
Interesting.
Yeah, given our age and time and development culturally here,
right.
Right.
So
in America. Or in Europe. In Western Europe.
In places where we play the top 40.
The top 40. Yes.
Where pop music is king.
So basically there are, I realized in an ULA 1 class that if I'm not worrying about what my body's doing, if I'm actually just observing what is happening, and if I'm observing the things around me, I have this very clear idea of the music, and I have a very clear idea of how the music is affecting my body. And I started practicing that in my own singing because I had to learn some like very difficult, very fraught arias, because bad things happen very frequently to sopranos in opera.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
When
sure.
you said this to me, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true. Because it's like, there's like a panic sound.
there are like
Yeah.
entire things we describe as rage arias, and then pain arias, and then of course the soprano dies at the end half the time anyway. So
Yeah.
Yes.
there are these very deep, like horrible feelings.
Yes.
And for me, I feel like emotion very, very strongly because I communicate a lot and like think a lot
Yeah.
in my throat. So
yeah.
I had to.
Good point.
Yeah, in your throat.
Yeah.
I mean, you choke up. And what do you do if you're a classical singer?
Oh,
who's
that's
about
a
to
good
go out
point.
and you're like, oh, I have to walk on stage and sing Padre Gianmani, which is about like, oh, I've lost my entire family and I'm like in love with the wrong kid from the wrong side of
Right.
town, and I'm also
Right.
a prisoner here and everything's terrible. And you're like supposed to go out and sing this like beautiful and,
And
radiant
communicate it to these people.
music, communicating this thing, but you can't hurt yourself. You can't physically put yourself in pain.
Yeah.
Even though the character is in pain.
Yes.
Right.
So I realized like the musical observation I was doing in my practice to be able to kind of still my mind, still my panic enough to convey the musical atmosphere, the entire color of the experience through my line and the harmonic underpinning by like calming my mind. I find a lot more peace. And I find that when I'm working out, by taking that same observational point and observing the colors of the music and the surroundings of the music, I have a lot more physical freedom too, because I'm mapping where I'm being affected by what I'm hearing.
Smart. So it's kind of grounding you in the experience.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So like how, okay, so it like for I think like, I don't know, I guess for those of us who are experiencing these different things, one of the things that you mentioned, which I thought was fascinating, is the question like, is this my emotion or is this the emotion of the music coming through? And so how are you able to like separate but also convey at the same time?
Good point.
It's a challenge that I think everyone keeps learning, and it's something we do in our own life. I like to think of it through this idea that is essentially like circles of energy. If we're in the first circle of energy, we're in an introverted space and we're reflecting inwardly.
Okay.
The second circle of energy is like a porous barrier. You're receiving input and you're sending out energy. And the third personal space barrier is like slamming energy outward. And so all of us are moving through space constantly and moving through our like cultural spaces, ordering coffee, ordering other things in one of these three modes of being. And as a singer, as a singing actor rather, our characters exist in one of these three modes of being all the time. And they shift from circle to circle as they experience different things on stage. So I've had to think, like, what does the music tell me? Is there like a really strong undercurrent of like angst and anger in the music? What circle is my character in? Okay, it feels like she might be in third circle, but I can't be in third circle because then I'm not receiving.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
That's so cool.
I'm not like
Isn't
receiving.
this fascinating?
Yeah, this is good.
I mean, this is coming from a singer's perspective,
Yeah.
but also I feel like for like those who are ULA instructors or even just participants in ULA, like this concept, I think translates over to the ULA experience as well.
Yeah, it really does. Particularly when you're teaching, I think sometimes because you're trying to capture the essence of what the artist or what the music is conveying to the community.
Totally.
But then I've noticed even today, like when I was teaching and then suddenly I got lost. Like I became the music, the character, and then I forgot I was leading. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, uh-oh. Like I was totally lost in the emotion, and then I came out and you were doing something different. Oh. Because you were leading. Or I was leading, but I looked over at you and I went, oh, that's where we're at.
Right.
But it was that weird not knowing where I had lost myself. You know, I was just not leading.
Right. That's like the thing I loved about music. And I think it broke my heart when I realized that if I'm going to be a performer, you have to ride the edge between that transformative, I have totally lost myself, and still being aware of your surroundings.
Yes. I totally agree.
That's a very good point.
And I think one of the places...
Which is a fun place to play in.
It's super fun. I mean, that's
when
the
you're
most
up in there,
fun.
You're all kind of like, I'm kind of walking the edge.
Totally walking the edge. I think part of my struggle in being an effective ULA instructor is I go too much to the third place because I'm just like, I want people to feel. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes I think my approach is like, I'm going to energetically push so hard thinking that that's the way to get people to experience it. But that almost reminds me of the quote that you you just brought
Oliver
in, right?
Sacks quote.
Yeah.
So this is one of my favorite quotes that, funnily enough, I found in a Brene Brown book, and it was like, okay.
Oh, Brene.
Thank you, Brene, for
on it.
reminding us of the great work of Oliver Sacks.
So Oliver Sacks writes that music, uniquely among the arts, is both completely abstract and profoundly emotional. Music can pierce the heart directly. It needs no mediation.
And sometimes I feel like I mediate too much.
Oh.
Because I want people to like feel it the way that I want them to feel it. But then that's such a good reminder to be like, yeah, but maybe that is the wrong like energy circle.
Or maybe you're stuck. You get stuck there instead of bouncing between them all.
Yeah.
You know what
something
I mean?
like that.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Right.
There's so much involved in making music. There's so many. I mean, there's instrumentalists for what we have. There's like various session musicians, your main recording artist, the processing team, which is a totally important part of music production today.
Sure. Yeah.
And there are all these people involved. So it's not as if the music needs a mediator. It's like we as people need to have a roadmap, maybe not a mediation, but a roadmap that connects where we're intersecting with the music, where the music intersects with our lives. Like, where does it hit us? Why does it hit us?
Yeah.
Does it hit us physically?
Right. Does it hit us physically? Does it hit us emotionally? Because sometimes physically is a very different experience than the emotional experience.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Well, and I think it's best when it all comes together.
Yes.
Yeah. You
right.
know?
And there's some great songs that do that. This is for, at least in ULA, for me, where I'm like, oh, this song is gonna combine all of the essence of who we are.
So, Claire, like, I would love to hear your advice for people who, you know, we, as you obviously know, ULA is meant to take us on an emotional journey. And we do that through music, through movement. So one thing that we hear pretty frequently is people are like, well, I'm not an angry person, so I just am not drawn to the angry songs, or I don't like to teach the angry songs, or, you know, these types of things make me feel uncomfortable. So like, how would we help somebody who's facilitating this experience and who has to, you know, follow this kind of roadmap that we've created with an ULA class? How do we like help them just be maybe more of a vessel in which it flows through without attaching to that, or without being so disassociated with anger too, because they're like, I'm not an angry person, I don't want to feel this. Like, how do we find that space?
You probably see that with singers too.
I do that as a singer. I as a light-ish soprano, I sing a lot of ingenues who are very, in my mental opinion, like, they just make very bad life choices. And I hate making...
Oh my gosh.
I hate making bad life choices.
Yeah,
and so
right.
I'm sitting here trying to sing about things, and I'm like, Elia, you could just fix your problems
Yeah,
if you didn't. And I'm like, no, this is a value judgment. We can't go there.
Right.
We can't apply... And
yes.
Oh, it's so hard being a musician because all of our feedback is value judgments from other people.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Weirdly, it's like living your normal life because you walk around and you receive value judgments from other people all the time. It's just like sometimes when people go to work, they get the sense that they're at work. And they're doing something that is separate from the value judgments they receive from other people. But as a musician, your value is always being assessed.
Yeah.
It feels like. Yeah. Even if that's not true. So I would say for anyone who has trouble embodying an emotion like me, this is kind of the practice I go through. It's from the Alexander technique, which was developed by a gentleman, F.M. Alexander. And he was an Australian actor who, in the late 1800s, who did a lot of Shakespeare plays and kept losing his voice. There was no physiological reason why he was losing his voice.
Oh, wow.
So there was no physical reason why he would get hoarse after performances.
He wasn't screaming.
He wasn't screaming. He had all the elocution lessons that people had in that time period for that method. So he set up mirrors and observed himself declaiming Hamlet, like 360 degree mirrors, and noticed his habits.
Oh, how interesting.
When he was speaking.
What were his habits?
His habits. So Alexander's habits, and many people who present in general will lift their chest up a little too high artificially and like pull their head up a little bit.
Oh,
and
we're all doing it. Are you all doing it out there too?
Clench your toes a little bit too.
Oh,
so
funny.
It's all of your body.
Like this.
And no, it feels very bad, but it also feels a little bit powerful.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's like a power
puffing out the chest.
I often think I should teach more like that. Because sometimes I see myself not, like, I'm like, why aren't you lifting your chest right now?
Right. And so, like, the idea is we all have different habits that we can observe as we're sitting around in the day and, like, mentally bored. Like, I'm slumping right now. And the thing about habits is, as you get further into learning the Alexander technique, you learn that no habit is inherently good or inherently bad.
Oh, interesting.
Habits are habits. And so I think we have emotional habits, too.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I have been told as a musician. So the process of learning a role where a character is experiencing an emotion that is too close to home for me or too far from home for me. I take stock of my emotional habits. So that means identifying what I'm really feeling. That means I can't process anger or don't want to process anger or don't want to go to that place.
Yeah.
Because I need to go to that place in a way that for me as a singer, my body can't feel angry even when I'm in that headspace. So I spend a lot of time observing my physical habits. Like, I'll lie on the floor and play the song that I'm trying to learn first. And just be like, do I feel anything? And sometimes I don't feel a thing. And I go, oh, that's interesting. I'm not paying very much attention to myself.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So I take another step. And since I have synesthesia, I may map the colors that I see very briefly in the music and be like, oh, there's a big key change here. So this kind of section is a different color tone. And then I think about that. Another place I start sometimes is just with the lyrics.
Can I pause just for 1 second? Do you feel like you see that? Do you see it like, do the colors align, you think, with the chakra system at all? Do you think you see them like where, like, for example, the root chakra is red. It's at the base of the spine. Do you see them in association with your body or you just see it?
I personally do, but I think that's because I've been working specifically to perceive that because I had a really brilliant vocal coach who told me that in my standard yoga practice, I was pushing too hard into discomfort. So I was pushing into discomfort in my singing instead of like looking for freedom.
Interesting.
And I was like very angry when I was told this because I want to get it right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
So you're like, I'm going to deal with the discomfort to push that.
So he suggested that I start from observing what I'm feeling. Again, this is like a common theme. It's like, do I have a physical reaction? Do I have a mental reaction? And you listeners can probably tell I have a very strong mental reaction to being told to back off from something.
Yeah, sure.
So I started working with my own music in tree pose. because it essentially, for me, it kind of opens up my hips. It aligns my chakras more, and it activates my core in a way that I can generally conceive of the colors and energy flow coming into my body and leaving my body through my front body and my back body. And so it really changed my perception of my music and what I was seeing. So I find if I'm feeling tense, if I observe tension in my body, I can direct my energy and my thoughts. They're not telling it to loosen, because if I tell something to loosen, it's just going to get tighter.
Sure.
Because that's what my brain does. But if I direct the energy of the music there, or the light I'm seeing there, and I think, okay, my low back and breathing feels really garbagey today. Like, I'm going to try and pick up on the yellow and gold that's in the music around me, and just try and feel that and see that more vividly. It's like I've given myself a map to try and free my body, because I'm trying to change my perception from perceiving it as an action I can do to something that I can receive.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, I love that
so much.
An action I can do to something I can receive. Because our culture is so about action, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's all about, well, then you do it. Push it, do it. Instead of like, okay, hold on. Deep breath. Now what do I need to receive here for this? Instead of just like pushing through. Even with the voice, like sometimes it's like, I'm going to hit that note. I'm going to push it. You know what I mean? Versus, well, hold on. Deep breath.
Yeah. And I can attest it's very unpleasant as a singer to push for a note when you know you can just let it happen.
Wow. Yeah.
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 Then the throat gets all like...
And it's such a bad feeling too, because at least for me, when I feel the snowball of emotions start, when I feel my, like, the line between, like, having a transformative performance where I'm aware of everything cross into the territory of I'm no longer aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
And this is a problem, because I actually need to know when I'm coming in next.
Right.
When I feel that happen, there's this emotional snowball that I like have to acknowledge. And so I've been experimenting with grounding myself in these colors that I see, essentially because I mapped them to my body.
Yes.
It's
And
kind of
I love that.
a like lengthy process.
So you laid the groundwork though first. Yeah.
I came up with the idea, not just from my brilliant coach, but also from a therapy session where I was instructed, color in an emotion wheel. And there were so many emotions on this wheel, and I looked at that and went, no, thank you. Can I have different homework?
An abbreviated version of that?
Yeah. Fewer colors.
Fewer emotions.
Fewer
please.
emotions, maybe. and my therapist was like, no, I think you'll really enjoy this. I said, can I just do it with music? And like, no, the idea is you color it so you have a map you can associate with the feeling.
Yes.
And I realized that's what I started doing that with my music too, because I needed a way to ground myself, and I needed a way to better define what I'm experiencing, because like I am a cerebral person, and I will feel better if I can have some sort of name or some sort of understanding of what's happening to me physically.
Right.
So I've like did this groundwork, and I still return to my like weirdly colored color wheel and think, I don't really like that color. I don't really feel comfortable with it. But I know that's what this character is experiencing. And let me see if I can hear places in the music where I see that color. In an interesting digression, a lot of the music I sing has very specific tonal language because it's from the classical period. And so certain keys had very specifically prescribed societal connotations. Like G major is a peaceful key. D major is a happy key.
Oh, funny.
Isn't
that interesting?
Love that.
Because it was the Enlightenment, and they had to have a reason for everything.
Right.
It was going a little too far. But by doing a little bit of like mental work with that, I find I can get closer to embodying emotions I'm not comfortable with. Embodying things I'm not physically comfortable with, because I've laid a map and I know how I can get back to. I have tools to get back to my equilibrium.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go.
So I, as a singer, have learned what my equilibrium is. Like, my heart rate's got to be a little bit up where I'm not paying enough attention to what's happening
Yes, you have to be slightly stimulated.
Yeah, exactly.
My muscles have to be working a little bit, but 2-pound weights instead of 10-pound weights.
Yeah,
And
good point.
So as I've been in this process of discovering my equilibrium as a human being and as an actor, and in my physical workouts, you should be working. I should be feeling my muscles burn. I should be feeling all of this. But there's always an equilibrium point we go back to emotionally as an actor. Mm-hmm. You stay cool while your character is hot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And so that's...
What happens, though, if you get hot when your character is hot?
Bad things.
Because sometimes
For me.
For you, is it hard to get back to equilibrium if you totally just go hot?
It's sometimes situational. If you go hot in the right way and are aware of your surroundings, it's fine. But if you go hot and you have suddenly lost your connection to the world, you have a problem. So I think that's what people mean between the actor stays cool and when the character is hot, is that you're still receiving input. And so if you can receive input when you're very, very frustrated, it's easy to go that emotional place and to deliver a really compelling interpretation.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear actors talk about movie actors, where because they have to go and live at the set sometimes 6 months, and then someone's I heard someone say they got totally lost in the character for
I think Christian Bale,
another 6 months. They were all, the movie was done, but they were still in the character.
Well, I've heard that Christian Bale, he often has conflict in his family after movies because he's become that character, and then he can't find his way out of it.
After we do workshops, I have a lot of conflict when I come back.
Oh, you do.
I think I'm lost in everyone's stuff. I just love receiving everybody's stuff, the stories.
Yes.
And then I come back, it's very hard for me to be just regular. This is your life, and then where's the cereal?
Yeah,
cereal. People are struggling. Do you understand? Or are you brave? Everyone's what are you talking about? Can we get some orange juice?
Yeah, right.
But it's hard for me to differentiate sometimes from one thing to another like that. Mm-hmm. So I think this is really helpful stuff.
I think it's really interesting. Yeah.
It's very, very strange too as a singer if you do lose yourself. I am thinking of a performance I had actually in school where all three of us got completely lost in being.
Can you feel when everybody else gets lost too?
Yeah, because then no one comes in on their entrance, and then at
we're
least
all...
in that situation, and then we all just sort of stood there and looked at the conductor when the moment.
Yeah,
someone dropped a line and the moment ended, and then we all went,
we're lost.
Oh no.
And my character in this scene is experiencing blindness. So for me, I spent a lot of time as an actor trying to play with different ways of portraying it, different ways of changing my interaction level. And I had gone into a place of focus where I was so unfocused on seeing things. It took me a second too long to find the conductor and I missed my entrance.
Wow.
And I was okay, so I have been trying to live someone else's life instead of living that through the music. And I think being a musical actor or a singer is a little bit different than being a straight play actor. I love straight plays. Give me a monologue any day. What am I doing right now?
Yeah.
Because monologues I can live with. I make the decisions. I can make risky decisions with a monologue. I can make William Shatner pauses and it's fine and communicates something different. Yeah. But in music, someone has told you when you are speaking. Someone has told you when you are silent. They have told you the inflection of the phrase and they've communicated the emotion you're feeling.
Yeah.
Right.
So as a singer,
and everyone's counting on you because there's a
relation and
there's a whole thing of music going on.
Yeah, and
it's not I want to pause longer here today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we can do that in class sometimes, I think. I'm going to hold this longer. But if you have the music in the background and everyone's be it's your turn, Claire. And you're I don't want to.
You're I'm going to create a very suspenseful pause.
We just missed the beginning.
This is my call right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's not today. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Oh, then they just keep going without you there. You and you stand there. You're I'm just going to act really hard till I know where we are. It's fine.
And you have a composer there too, who's just like, hello. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that brings up an interesting point. Like, like you are then also expected to convey what somebody else, their vision for it, which is kind of an interesting thing. I wonder what all of the different songwriters and singers that we use, like what they would think of Ula, if they're like, you totally lost what we were trying to go for right there. Like, why did you do this move? This move has it doesn't convey anything of what we were trying to say. It'd be really interesting
to see what they thought.
Yeah, because we've got that sense of freedom, I guess, doing creating the choreography. But then, all the instructors out there, I'm sure there's times that they're like, I never would have done that. Mm-hmm. So it is interesting, all of the different interpretations that come into play, and maybe part of what we encourage in ULA instructors is to bring in your own authenticity and bring your own story in, and that is where some of that freedom comes in. That's why we don't have cookie cutter instructors. We have instructors teaching songs in very different ways, because they do get to kind of it can invite a bit of a freedom that maybe a classical singer doesn't have.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I always have a director or a musical theater director or telling me their vision, and my job is to be flexible enough to incorporate my character into that vision and to embody that character. And my job as a musician is to be, on the other hand, is to be flexible enough to look at a Mozart aria and think, wow, this brings up a lot of very trying emotions for me.
Sure.
But Mozart has already put that in there. Mm-hmm. And my job is to find freedom in expressing them. So I think Ula almost has its own art form thing because of the choreography that's been created. There's this whole other level of experience, and it moves the listening music from a listening, totally receptive experience to an experience where you are doing things. And I think that's why it works so well, that it's not cookie cutter, that everyone has their own interpretation. Because
this kinetic experience.
Yeah, it's about making a kinetic experience for other people.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good point.
That is a great point. That's a really good point.
Because you add the movement piece in, and it changes it.
Oh, new word, kinesthesia.
Kinesthesia. Kinesthesia. Kinesthesia.
Oh,
you ready?
Yeah, that's so interesting. And then with Ula 1, so with Ula 1, you said some just really fascinating things too, just about, some colors you were seeing at some time, but wasn't it you, Bernice, who in Shavasana, you were I felt green over Claire or whatever. And you were saying that Shavasana song, I was seeing green.
Yeah, and it kept popping in from where Claire was,
which means you're tuned in as well.
And I was all "What is that?"
But it was just really interesting to hear that you and I had a conversation about the color you were seeing. I told Bernice about this conversation. You're like, "That is so crazy," because I was seeing this color coming off of Claire,
just flooding in on the side, and then it would take over, and then it would flood back, and I'm like, "Whoa."
Isn't that fascinating?
And I had never thought about colors before.
Right.
I see colors only if I close my eyes and I'm not moving around. But in Shavasana in particular, if I want to pay attention, I can see colors as the different music changes, different colors come in. But so it was really cool talking to Claire, because I realized, there must be something happening that I'm seeing those colors. And then that day I just happened to see her color coming in for whatever reason. I don't know why, or I was putting that color on her. Again, that's that question of what is that color? Where is that? It's obviously my interpretation.
Right.
I'd like to hope or think that it was from me, because I was thinking very hard. I remember that day very clearly, because I went home and wrote down all the colors I had, my color experience, my synesthetic experience of the playlist. Oh
my gosh, it's just it's so cool to me. Your color experience. That's amazing. That's amazing.
I can't believe that I spent so long ignoring this or kind of treating it as a side part of being a musician, because I think it is a useful tool for me to ground myself. But I know I was being so intentional I'd had kind of a weird day. I was getting ready for a like summer singing engagement, and I was lying there and I was like, I just really want to open up my heart. And the song has a lot of ocean green in it, and I just want to be open, and I want that energy to come through me. And I was just sort of sitting there, and then my mind kind of got quiet, and I was just very calm. So I'd like to think it was from me.
It was,
right.
I don't know. And it was coming from your area. Like, it was weird because it was like I was seeing a different color, and then suddenly green would just kind of shove in. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, but it wasn't associated with the music as much. So that was odd.
Sure. So Claire, do you think everybody has this ability if they tune into it? Or do you think or do only some people have it?
I think anyone can make this kind of connection, but your experience with it may be different. And my reasoning for that is because I have spent a long time thinking about trying to map different ways so I can improve my performance as a person. And that means I try things that don't always work for me, and I shuffle around a lot to find the thing that really engages.
Right.
Experimenting.
My body. So I think it's about experimenting with your perception. If you're someone for whom music makes you feel very, very deeply, and songs and like you'll turn on a video and you'll suddenly just be crying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, spend a little time and sit with why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Or for me, because I'm a singer and because I had like many frightening experiences on stage, I now have to check in with the music I'm trying to learn and go, does this make me afraid? Is there a reason for it to make me afraid? Okay, it's still making me afraid. Where do I go from here?
Right.
So it's
where do you go?
Claire, I love that though. Staying curious.
Stay curious.
Because like you were saying earlier, even with when instructors are like, well, I'm not a mad person, I can't really do an angry song. And you brought up those questions.
Those great questions.
Now, is it me that I don't want to feel angry? Am I uncomfortable with anger? Do I think I'll get lost there somehow?
I won't be able to find my way back.
But I love those questions. Kind of ask yourself, now, why is that
and
uncomfortable for me?
I guess another question that I have though is like, so let's say a song does come on, and let's say we have a very a strong emotional response. How do we know if it's ours, if it's coming from the music? Are we just swept up in an energetic experience? Like, are we just tapping into like communal sadness, or tapping into subconscious sadness, or like, it's how do we even know where the sadness is coming from?
Sometimes I think we can choose whether we're going to feel other people's sadness, or whether we're going to feel our sadness, or whether we're going to feel the singer's sadness. Yeah. So it's about either opening up how vulnerable you want to be today. For me as a singer, because there are some days where I'm not interested in being vulnerable, but I still have to go learn my music.
Yeah.
And I still have to do the thing. And those days tend to be performative, and they may not be my best days, but I've spent enough time figuring things out that at the end I feel better. And I found that with Ula too. When I go to Ula, there are some days where I'm like, oh no, like, oh no.
Yeah.
And
I'm not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it, but I begin performing and I begin looking. I make the decision, okay, I'm here. I've already made that decision that I'm here.
Yeah.
And I've already made the decision that I'm going to dance. So I'm going to dance and I'm going to move, and I will see what moves me.
Yeah.
And at the end, I may not have one of those days of massive, incredible connectivity because I wasn't ready for that. But I still feel better. And I think it's because it like comes down to this idea of making these choices on what energy level are we going to engage with other people. I really feel, I truly believe that music is a great way to tap into these deep, like, unconscious sadnesses that everyone experiences. It's a great way we can find pain. It's a great way we can find anger together. But sometimes if you're not ready for those emotions, you can still experience, like, the beauty or the feeling of moving your body, the joy of moving your body.
Yeah.
It's still really fulfilling.
Do you, like for me, I'm so drawn to ULA 1. And sometimes I wonder, like, why I want to feel deep sadness so much, because that class allows me to feel sadness very deeply. And so that's really interesting to me. I wonder if that's a reason that ULA 1 is not nearly as popular as ULA.
It could be. I don't know. I have the same thing. I'm very drawn to it as well. The stillness, the like time with, I mean, there's time with silence in ULA as well, but in ULA 1, there's something about it that's so compelling. And maybe it's because I've spent a lot of time with characters who feel a lot of pain, but I feel like when I'm in that class, I'm looking at my body, because, you know, yoga-inspired poses sometimes make me feel pain, and then I have to take a moment and step back and like find a way to be in that moment without feeling it physically. And I wonder if that's why I'm drawn to it, because I feel things so deeply that I need this space where I can let things pass through me instead of collecting them.
Oh my God. I think you literally just nailed it for me, because in ULA 1, I don't feel like it's almost, I mean, maybe I'm misunderstanding the way you said it, but I feel it on a deeper level than physical. Like, it doesn't stay in the physical body. And so there's something that happens, like, even maybe when I'm like choreographing ULA 1 at home, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really hard. Or like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm feeling discomfort. But when I get into like the space with the music, I don't feel those sensations anymore. It's like they disappear, and I'm like dropping into a different place that it's no longer just on the physical.
Yeah, for me, I feel so supported.
I do too.
Or like I'm able to find a lot of trust. Balancing poses are something I've had to spend a lot of time with, because voice teachers are like, oh, this will activate your core and get your breath moving. And I do not have great balance. I spent my whole childhood falling off of horses. I'm like, if I can fall off a thing with 4 legs, I will fall off my own
right.
legs.
Yes,
like,
right.
That's awesome.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
And in 1, when I like the balancing songs, the first time I like knew that was going to happen. Like the first 1 class I went to, like, oh. And then I was there, and I suddenly felt myself trusting my body more, even though I was having these intense emotions swirl around me. And like my experience with colors is so intense in ULA 1, I think, because I've been trying to so intentionally map where energy is entering my body, where my body is blocked, mapping which chakras like need a little attention that day.
Yeah.
But I found balancing was so much easier, and it's like I was being supported because I wasn't holding on to things.
Yes. Yes. I totally agree. And I think because of our conversations that we've been having after class, I've been trying to cue differently. Like I've been trying to encourage people to invite the music into the body. And I feel like when you feel so deeply the music and you let the music take the body, it doesn't, I don't know, like, of course we're doing a physical practice. I understand that, but I don't feel my body anymore. I feel like the music has just taken over my entire existence. It's fascinating. I
feel so graceful during it.
I do too.
That is not one of the adjectives I would pick for myself. But I know what you mean, because it feels like the music is moving me rather than I'm moving me. And I sometimes feel that in regular ULA at times, particularly in songs with a lot of fire. I'm comfortable being moved by fire.
You're kind of carried by that.
Yeah, you can get carried by the fire for sure.
Being moved by water is equally compelling for me, but sometimes in the songs with a lot of air and somehow bounce and joy, my body is like, this is too light. I don't feel grounded anymore. I feel weird.
Sure,
yes. And then I have to like take a moment and be like, am I being too serious?
Interesting.
What is happening? Why is this uncomfortable for my body to do musically? Like, why am I suddenly not able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
Why am I blocked here?
What has shifted? And it's like, okay, just listen to it. And then I spend time. And that's something I like about ULA. The releases in ULA 1 and in regular ULA is we live with the song for a little while. And that gives time for a person like me who's so connected to lyrics to actually look up the lyrics and be like, yes, I can feel that here.
Right.
I connect to that on a very deep literary level.
Right.
And that fires my physicality up, and then
totally. I'm the same way. It's like I almost have to make sense of it in the brain first, and then it can I'm like, I want to feel that, but I need to understand it cerebrally, and then it's like I want to feel that. I almost think you interpret it the opposite way.
Yeah.
You interpret it from this is how I'm feeling, and then you're like, oh, okay, now I understand what they're even singing.
Right.
Which I think makes an interesting dynamic for us to work together in terms of creating movement.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, because if I do it because I tend to be cerebral with everything, but cerebral detached, then I'm just everything's logic, and I don't want to drop down. It's kind of like my safety net. Scientifically it says, I'm like, well, hello, there's a whole other many facets to life.
Yeah.
So if I do music that way, I can't feel the movement at all.
Yeah.
But if I just listen and I don't even hear the lyrics but suddenly the lyrics will come out. I can't even listen too many times because suddenly I'll get a preconceived, almost cultural thing. And then you should do this. It's almost, I'll hear it too. And then you should move like this. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
So you're not in charge.
Yeah.
So if I just do it, move physically with the music, and then suddenly it's like, this move is the move. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly we'll go back and it'll be like, but this is what it said.
Yeah.
Or what the artist is saying.
That's so cool. I know that for me, as I'm learning a new song, I have to look at the lyrics. I need that. And maybe it is because I'm a singer, and my whole conceptualization of making music revolves around, I need to know what's beneath me. I need to know what the composer, singer, songwriter intended and what those chords are. So I'm looking at the guitar lead sheet okay.
That's awesome. That's cool.
And then I suddenly feel, because my brain's not thinking about analyzing the music, my body is freed to do the thing.
To do the thing. Yeah.
That's right. You got to free up the old bod.
Yeah.
Well, especially for those whose brains or cerebral stuff is dominant. Because I think some people are so much more feeling people that maybe you're more feeling that then you need the cerebral part to be like,
I need something to anchor to.
This is what you anchor onto. Right. And then you're like, okay.
Well, and that's why so many of the ULA 1 moves all work really well with the music, because I need my guiding points,
right?
So that then I can I don't know, get there. But I think that's one of the great things about movement to music is the left brain, right brain.
Left brain, right brain. That's right. What brain you on?
Left brain, right brain. Got it. Mind, body.
I'm on this brain.
Music, movement. It connects. It connects.
Yes.
It connects a lot of
those
the different
two
facets. The two hemispheres, the mind, body, the individual experience with the communal experience. There's so many ways that it's connecting. So whether you are more cerebral or you are more physical, you have the opportunity to engage and activate the side that isn't your dominant side.
Yes, I think that's a good point. And kind of, again, going back to Claire's thing about being curious about okay, how is this music affecting me? Mm-hmm. And what do I need to know about it? Or do I need to know nothing about it? Do you know what I mean? Kind of understanding who you are in that realm of creativity, right?
Yeah, you can receive it either way.
Yes. Right.
Literally lie down on the floor and just be like, how does this make me feel? Do I like that feeling?
Yeah. Do I like that feeling?
Yeah,
okay, that's a good question.
Okay. So I hate that feeling. Maybe I should spend some time with I hate that.
That's such a good, So at the end of, on Sunday of our empowerment weekend, the very first question we ask anyone after teaching is, how did that feel? Maybe the follow-up question needs to be, do you like that feeling?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Because you'll see them go it was good.
It was good.
But
Felt good.
They look, I'm like you're saying it it wasn't good.
Yeah. And
which is okay.
Yeah, that's funny. Do I like this feeling?
Yes. And did you like the feeling? Not
that's
really.
Hilarious.
One thing I love about ULA and ULA 1 in particular is it's one of the few times where I feel free to move into discomfort and experiment with discomfort.
For sure.
With what I do.
Yeah, for sure.
In terms of because if I push my singing voice, I risk like hurting my instrument because I'm my instrument.
Right.
So
absolutely.
I can't like physically lean into like if I'm feeling very angry, I can't.
Yeah. You can't.
Yeah. I can't really growl too much.
You can't lose your voice like we do.
Yeah.
So
like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
So I love physicalizing. Yeah, that's a word now.
Yeah.
The things
yes.
that the things that I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
And finding different ways to connect to that because
That
some
is so
feelings
cool.
I might not want to feel, but then I walk in and it's like I'm building a character for some songs. Some songs aren't really me feeling it, but I see the moves and I'm like, oh, this is so fun. I'm gonna totally be this way. This is me now for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm pretty sure I'm like that.
I know.
I'm like, I'm at the club. That's right.
Oh, I'm totally at the club.
Yeah.
Not like I only listen to Mozart.
Yeah,
I'm listening to top 40. Like
I know. Isn't that so funny?
Well, and I love in one how I'm kind of like you, where you said, you know, someone had told you like you keep pushing it, and so I do that with stretching. I think I'm like I'm gonna push it, and but Kaylee's always like, you know, just relax into the stretch, and that has given me so much more permission to just be present with my body instead of almost like I want to feel the pain of the push, and it's like, why am I doing that? Why do I have to do that with everything? Like maybe just sit and just ask yourself, oh, where are you feeling that? Oh, I feel my hip. Do you need to push into it or do you just want to sit with it? Or do you need to retract a little bit from it?
Yeah, there's this super cool idea. It's from the Alexander technique again. It's direction versus inhibition. And they're both ways we can talk to our bodies about our habits that we experience. So you can inhibit a bad habit and think, okay, I am not going to raise my shoulders. You're not supposed to give them with a knot, but I don't like the inhibition one. It's tricky for me. Or you can direct it, which is what I prefer, because direction is keep your shoulders down.
Right.
And the inhibition would actually be a countered one, like, I don't know, let your like neck elongate something.
Sure.
So you can counter movements that way. And I've started playing with that as a person in my singing practice because I curl into a little ball. That's like my habit when I sing because I'm like, don't look at me, even though I always want people to look at me and pay attention to me.
The
rest of the time.
Right.
It's like, oh, you're all looking at me? Wait, this is not what I've already
Why are you all looking at me?
Yeah.
So I have to like, I can either direct that habit, which I found kind of makes me want to push because as I'm like experiencing with the technique, I'm experimenting with what like works for me mentally. And so I can direct my body. All right, we're really going to get this pigeon pose today. Or I can like choose to inhibit like the lean into that. And it works for my brain because when I hear relax into it, it feels like everything in my body gets tighter because I'm directing myself, relax.
Right. Because we do the opposite a lot.
Yeah.
So that's cool for cueing though. So how would we, so what would we cue for the inhibit one? For pigeon.
That always breaks my brain when I try to
because it would be like, lengthen your
like
leg.
Create space somewhere.
Space. I like the idea of creating space.
That one always feels good.
I love
like you say something like that with the spine sometimes, and
I literally
can
see
almost
my
I
spine go like this.
I think the visual, the use of a word that makes a visual connection too.
Yeah,
because it's like relax is such a loaded word.
Do it,
and I'm like
relax
now.
Yeah, right now.
This won't hurt.
It's like
just relax.
This won't hurt at all. It's like when I get my blood pressure taken, and they're like, "Your blood pressure's high." I'm like, first of all, you shouldn't say that to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, "Do you think we'll leave it on? Do you think you could relax?" And I'm like, "No,
definitely not."
And
now.
every time they come back in, they're like, "It's higher." I'm like, "I know."
Oh, that's funny. That's great to think about.
What they should say is try and make it higher.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd be like, okay. And I may not be as successful with that. You know what I mean? With, I'm going to make it higher.
Yeah.
Like, today, I mean, just, but they say, you know, just relax and try and lower it. I'm like, no.
I've like really enjoyed the process of trying to look inside like my experience it or what I feel tighten in my body when I'm told to relax. It's just like, oh, good, I'm gritting my teeth now. That makes it easy to sing. Like,
yeah.
And one I'll find, one's one of the places where I find I don't have that instinctive response because I'm trying to connect so much to the music now because I love the music in one. Like the indie inspired stuff is probably what I listen to second most after the stuff I'm trying to learn.
Totally.
And so because I have this emotional connection and I'm wanting to feel the feelings move through me, I tend not to get as stuck in my body
in your
directing it like
I totally agree.
That's a good
That's exactly how I feel.
And so it's almost like the inhibition is mentally I've decided not to push.
Yes.
And so I'm not pushing and I'm just letting.
Right.
And I love how you also said that we can move in the position.
Oh.
Because, you know, anyway, growing up as a dancer, it was always like, hold it.
Right.
And push harder. But you're like, maybe just, and you do it, you start moving your hips, you know, and I'm like, oh, and that helps me not hold on as much either. It's like, hey, just add a little bit of movement in this. And it actually, I feel I stretch better then.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, me too.
That's why I do it.
It's like we have to move around. And honestly, all of our music is designed with some amount of improvisatory leeway in what we listen to and what we do. So we have this ability to not get stuck or to not push into doing something exactly the same every time because what we do is not replicable 100% of the time.
Yes.
For sure.
Every time. So it's been like, for me as a singer, I have to let go of, okay, I'm going to do that perfectly like that every time.
Right.
Yeah, good point.
I'm going to do it to the best of my ability every time. Or I'm going to simply do it every time. I'm going to let it happen. So it's like this process of ratcheting it back when I learn something. And I find I have to do that with my body too, to get like the fullest feeling good benefit. Like, oh yes, my neck is released. I have to go from a place of, okay, like make it happen to this expanding, like, okay, the music is helping me do it. My energy is helping me do it.
Yes.
I'm no longer pushing energy into being right. Like sometimes I'm putting a lot of energy out to look like I'm doing it right.
Yes.
To look, and not even like in my real life. I do that. Like I'm at the coffee shop and I'm like, I'm going to be the like nicest, chattiest person here today. And then I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah,
right.
Okay.
You're fine.
Relax.
It's not a competition.
Relax.
Just be in the coffee shop.
Totally.
Like, you're fine. You don't have to do that.
Yes.
And
exactly.
so it's like moving myself from this place where all my energy is going into it to a place where suddenly I'm receiving energy.
Yes. I love that.
And
the
giving
pushing
energy
out versus the receiving.
which is like,
when you're pushing out, you can't receive.
Yeah.
You can't receive when you're pushing out.
An exercise I have when I'm singing, which is very, it messed with my mind a lot when I first did it. And it was when I first really started thinking about chakras was my coach said, okay, imagine, you know, the chakras. Yes, I know the chakras, yoga, etc. And so he's, can you see them if you close your eyes? Yes, I can look at them on my body. And then I indicated like where I felt they were. And he's like, good, that's a decent map. Now I want you to sing this phrase and tell me what lights up. So I told him what lit up for me in my concept of it. And he's like, okay, that's great. Now they actually all need to be a light along your front body. So there's energy coming out in your back body and you're not pushing energy out of them. You're letting energy enter and leave you.
Oh.
So it's like,
wow.
I love that.
And so it has been a very productive exercise for me because I like to close off my heart so I don't get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And because I just have an assortment of lower back problems, usually there's something interesting happening in the lower chakra. And I have to calm down. Everything's fine. We can receive. This activity won't cause us pain.
Right.
And that's like what
there
I
you
have
go.
to go back to.
Yes.
With yoga and Ula 1 and Ula, I have to go to this idea of this activity. I will not like cause myself more discomfort than I'm looking to experience.
Good point.
Like setting that boundary with
that
myself.
sort of trust with yourself.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
That's a good. That's
so
very
cool.
good.
Oh man, what an amazing conversation.
Wow.
Holy
Learned
cow.
so much.
But don't you feel like you just got to like go into her brain just
Yes.
a little bit? I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so fascinating, this stuff. It's just like, I think it gives us all a lot to think about too in terms of our relationship with music and movement and perception and receiving, staying open. And I think that's how we keep this energy flowing of receiving, of giving,
and of pushing versus receiving.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think it's really, really cool. And I think it's something we can all just like stay curious about in ourselves.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Claire, thank you so much for being on our podcast.
Thank you, Claire. That was great.
Thank you. I had so much fun.
I did too. This was awesome.
It was awesome.
Thank you guys for listening. Wow.
Woo.
Yeah. Have a good week. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.